G'day and welcome to this week's episode of Ask Leah. This week I want to introduce you to one of my favourite tools that I use in training with leaders, in communication training and training on self-management at times of pressure and stress, or when you're navigating challenge and change. The reason I'm touching on this tool tonight is because I've had quite a few questions lately about how to help people focus. They're getting distracted. People are feeling overwhelmed with the uncertainty and the pressure that they're under, getting caught up in rumor and gossip and worrying about the what could, should, may happen. This tool here, Stephen Covey's Circles of Influence, an oldie but a goodie. It's based on the premise that where our attention goes, our energy flows, and that we waste so much time focusing on things that we can't control or influence. And it doesn't change our situation or circumstance, it just makes us feel like rubbish. So, this is a tool I use personally or with a team anytime I face a challenge or I'm feeling a bit out of whack. And I ask myself these questions. First off, what can I control? The innermost circle, where we should be spending most of our time. What can I control? And when we ask ourselves this, what's within our sphere of control? Really what it comes down to is ourselves. We like to think we can control other people, but we can't. We have an ability to control ourselves. We have to be regulated to do it, but we have the potential to be able to control things like how we regulate our emotions, how we communicate, how we behave, how we show up, the actions we take, what the next step in the process might be, how much sleep we're getting, how well we're eating, are we exercising? All of those things we have an ability to control, and that's where we need to focus most of our attention. After that, we go to the next circle out, and that is our circle of influence. Now, when we think about the things that we can influence, really what we would use to sum that up is to say we can influence others. And the strength of our influence comes down to how well we communicate and our relationships. So if I'm wanting to influence up the chain, my boss or my team, am I communicating effectively? Am I considering my audience? Am I building those relationships? Am I being strategic and putting forward that idea in the best way possible that's going to connect with that person? So I can't control the other person, but I can influence them by the trust I build with them and the way I make my case. So that's where we next want to spend our time. After we go past that circle, so we've focused on what we can control, what we can influence. Once the issue hits the outer circle, our circle of concern, so it still impacts us, we might worry about it. However, we can't control or influence it. This is the circle, and this is hard, folks, where we need to learn to let it go or accept the situation. And Ben Crow, one of Australia's leading mindset coaches, talks here about radical acceptance, that we either accept the things we can't control or we suffer. It's as simple as that. So once it gets out here, okay, we don't like it. It might be the change. It might be a situation we're dealing with. We don't like it, but we've done what we can to control the things we can control. We've influenced and advocated and had the conversations we can. And now it is what it is, and we've got to accept it and move on or let it go, because worrying about it isn't going to change it. It's just going to make us feel like crap. So again, I use this little model all of the time. Anytime a challenge faces your team, it's super simple to whip up on a board just the 3 circles and say to your team, all right, what can we control here? Great. What can we influence? Cool. And what do we need to let go of? And at times of overwhelm, this tool can help you focus back in, take that deep breath, and keep taking action that is productive and ensures that your well-being and stress levels are manageable. If you have a communication, leadership, self-leadership, leading through change, emotional intelligence question you would like answered, send it through and I am so happy to answer it. Have a go at using circles of influence yourself or with others, and I would love to hear how you go. Cheers.